Greetings to you in the matchless name of Jesus Christ, and welcome back again for yet another episode number 24 for Life Coach. You know, what we intend to do in these 60 episodes is turn you into a beautiful person, transformed person, and not only that, that you can help others to be transformed through principles that we learn in these classes, in these episodes. So today onwards, for a couple of days, we are going to deal with addictions. Why do people get addicted? People have different kinds of addictions. One is to substances, and two is addiction in behavior. There are two types of addictions that can happen to any human being, and it's a serious thing that many people struggle with. They struggle with addictions, but what they do is they hide their addictions. Due to shame, they don't share it with anybody, and they struggle. So millions of people are struggling with various types of addictions. And today we're going to explore into the root causes of addictions. And let's understand what is an addiction. So I want to take a Bible verse to start with, and that's given in Romans chapter 7. And this is what Paul wrote. For what I am doing, I do not understand. For what I will to do, that I do not practice. But what I hate, that I do. What I will to do, what I want to do, that I am not able to practice. But what I hate to do, that's what I'll end up doing. So that's a beautiful definition from the Bible about addictions. I do not understand what I'm doing. And what I don't want to do, that's what I'll end up doing. And what I hate to do, I do. And what I really love to do, I do not do that. So Paul himself was found in this predicament, and he wrote that in Romans. He wrote this in the book of Romans. There are various types of addiction that people are struggling with. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be, marijuana. It can be, addiction of substances like tobacco. Some people are chewing certain kind of things, so they get addicted to substances. And these days, especially the young people, you find they slip into addictions, various types of addictions. There can be addictions to behaviors like pornography, masturbation. There can be different types of addictions in behaviors like anger. You're addicted to getting anger. So what you don't want to do, you'll end up doing. And what you want to do, you don't do. So why is it that even serious, mature people are struggling through certain types of addictions? And how can we find a solution to this? This is what we'll be discussing. Many times we don't understand there is a root cause for every kind of addictive behavior. There is a root cause. Behind every addiction, that's a principle. Behind every addiction or addictive behavior, there's a root cause either in the soul or in the spirit of the person. And identifying the root cause is the first step towards freedom. If you want to have freedom, you should identify what is the root cause of that addictive behavior. Where did it all start? In the modern world, they are resorting to giving medical assistance, pills and medication to the physical body, to the brain, to the functioning of the nerves, to chemicals that are created. All the concentration is on the physical body. Whereas people are now beginning to understand there's an intricate uh, interaction that happens between the spirit of a man, the soul of a man, and the body of a man. So, spirit, soul, and body are so well interconnected. So, you cannot just separate the body and start to treat the body with medical substances. I was listening to a doctor, and the doctor was saying 33% to 35% of all deaths are caused by medicines. Because when you give medicines to the physical body, there are side effects. If you go to any prescription, you go take the prescription, this is good for this, but however, these are the side effects, and if you have certain symptoms, please do not take this medication. Behind every medicine, there are side effects. So you take some medicine for your kidney, but then it has got side effects somewhere else. You take some other medicine for the pancreas, then it has got side effects somewhere else. So most of the medicines, though they try to solve the problem temporarily, it has got side effects, and 33 to 35% of all deaths are caused by the side effects of medicines. So what is the problem? We are trying to isolate the body and treat the body without considering what is happening in the spirit of the man and in the soul of the man. So I'm not saying it will not work, but in the long run, it does certain damages, and we have to consider the damages that it will cost. So why does a person get into an addictive behavior? There is a root cause, and the root cause need not be in the physical body. The root cause could be in the spirit, and it could be in the soul of a man. And if it is in the spirit and soul of a man, no chemical, no pill that you give will solve the problem. Whatever pill and medication you take will only solve the physical symptoms. So many times there's a root that needs to be identified and pulled out. And when the root is dealt with, then there is a permanent solution. So many times these kind of addictive behavior is connected to a root. That's the principle number one. Now, in Romans chapter 7, this is what Paul says. For what I am doing, I do not understand. What I will to do, I do not practice. But what I hate, that I do. If then I do what I will not to do, I agree with the law that it is good. But now it is no longer I who do it, but sin that dwells in me. It's no longer I who do it, that sin that dwells in me. Now, one of the root causes of addictive behavior can be called as iniquity. Iniquity. Iniquity is something that is passed on from one generation to another generation. The Bible says that an iniquity or a tendency or a kind of a habit-forming pattern can be passed on from one generation to another generation, even to the fourth generation. In Deuteronomy, it is written that with regard to sexual sins, it can even be passed to the 10th generation. It means that 10 generations before, there's a habit formed by your great-grandfather or your great-grandmother. It can get passed down to you, even to the 10th generation. But let's go up to the 4th generation. So if there is a habit that is being formed, and that habit is not dealt with by your great-great-grandfather or a great-great-grandmother, it could have passed down to your grandfather, to your father, to you, passed down. It is sin that is passed down. Like David said, in sin my mother conceived me. There are certain tendencies that David had. It was passed on from his mother in the womb itself. So that's the number one cause, root cause, that there are certain addictive behaviors, patterns of behaviors that can pass on from one generation to another generation through what is called iniquity. Now, dealing with iniquity itself is a separate subject, and that will be dealt with in a separate class. But in this class, you just need to understand that you could have certain behaviors that is not originated in you, but it was originated into the previous generation, and you have the same tendencies. The same tendencies. Now, in the medical world, they say if your father is diabetic, your mother is diabetic, you have a high tendency to become a diabetic. You know, I myself sometimes I struggle. You know, I struggle with multiple addictive behaviors. But this one that still I struggle with is addiction to a substance called sugar. Okay, addiction to a substance called sugar. You know, you can get addicted to sugar just like you get addicted to heroin or addicted to a certain substance. So these are addictions that can come on to each one of us, irrespective of our knowledge. And this can come on from an iniquity or something that has happened right at the time of your birth. Now, I know that in me, that is in my flesh, nothing good dwells. So the flesh can have a tendency. Your DNA, your chromosomes, your very substance that is in you can have a tendency that is nothing good. So we need to fight against that tendency. For to will is present in me, but how to perform what is good, I do not find. For the good that I will to do, I do not do, but the evil I will not to do, that I practice. Now that's called addiction. When I practice something that I don't want to do, that is called addiction. Now, there are certain other definitions to addiction. An addiction is formed when we try to use something other than God to meet our basic need to be loved, to be secure, to be significant. Human being has three basic needs. Number one need is to be loved. Every human being has been created to be loved. So you have a desire to be loved, every human being. Number two, every human being wants to have security, a fear-free, anxiety-free, worry-free life. Number three, every human being needs to be significant. God has created everybody precious and important. So three things that every human being seeks in his or her spirit and soul. Number one, love. Number two, security. And number three, significance. Now, if these three are affected early in life, that will be a reason for addiction. Now, early in your life, before the age of 7, there are gaps in these three areas. You could land up into an addictive behavior. Addiction is formed when we try to use something other than God to meet our need to be loved, to meet our need to be secure, to meet our need to be significant. Now, these three are the basic needs of every human being. And, you know, we try to meet that need, which is in the spirit man, and in the soul, we try to meet it in the body. So, when we don't get it in the spirit, and when we don't get it in the soul, we try to meet those needs in the body, and that can become a way of satisfying the gap that is in your spirit or in my spirit, in your soul or in my soul. And that could be the root cause of most addictions. Now that leads us to the next principle. An addiction is a compulsive lifestyle that people adopt to in a desperate need to substitute something that is dislocated in your life. You could have had a traumatic experience that dislocated any one of these three things. through that traumatic experience, and you're trying to, have a lifestyle to meet that particular need of yours in your spirit or in your soul. Bruce K. Alexander, in his book, The Globalization of Addiction, a study in the poverty of the spirit, he writes, addiction in the modern world can be best understood as a compulsive lifestyle that people adopt to in a desperate substitute when they are dislocated from the myriad intimate ties between people and groups. When you miss something that is so important in relationships early in life, that can land you up into a way of substituting that need with something that is external only for the body. Now, as you get addicted, the sad part is that it damages your spirit man. It also damages your communion with God. Addictions is such a vicious circle that the more you get addicted, the more it damages your own spirit man, and it also damages your relationship with people and with God, in your communion with people and with God. So, addictions affect your relationships. I've met people who are addicted to alcohol, and it has destroyed their marriage. I met people who are addicted to pornography, and it has destroyed their marriage. You can get addicted, and it can destroy relationships. So we need to have a serious look, at addictions. Another major reality or truth with respect to addiction is that people who are addicted don't want others to know about their addiction. They don't want others to know. So because of the shame factor, they don't want to expose it to others. So they know it internally, they hate what they are doing, but they don't want others to know that such a thing is happening. So it happens in secret, and they have a double standard life. One standard in front of others and another standard internally. And sometimes they hate what they are doing. And it further gets them into the vicious circle of getting even more addicted, and then finally, it explodes. Now, let's look at the major causes, okay? Number one cause is lack of genuine love. Lack of genuine love. Now, when I talk about genuine love, it's love without condition. It's known as agape love. Agape love doesn't put conditions. Agape love is not given because you're good, bad, ugly, nothing. It is not based on your performance. And many times in real life, parents give love based on performance. One child is very smart, and you say, wow, wow. And then another child is not so smart. Then you start to compare the first child with the second child. And then you put the second child down through your conversation, and the signal the second child might get is that I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy to be loved. I'm not good looking. I'm not performing well enough. My elder brother or my elder sister, is doing much better. People even compare your complexion, or the elder one is fairer, the younger one is darker, and then you're compared between the two, and the second one is put down, and the person can feel unloved. So parental love many times is based on your looks and also on your performance. Somebody is very smart in studies, that person is appreciated. Somebody is not so good in certain subjects, that person is depreciated. Now, these kind of things happen early in life, and that can lead to a person to believe that I am not good enough to be loved. I'm not good enough to be loved. So when genuine love or agape love or unconditional love, which is not based on performance, when that is lacking, then, this is breeding ground for addictions. However, when genuine love does come in the form of God's love into a person, that person has hope for freedom from addictions. That person has hope. So root cause number one that we want to deal with today is lack of genuine agape love. Number two, root cause number two, self-worth issues. Self-worth issues. Lack of self-worth. When a person doesn't feel that person is significant, worthy, so this is self-worth issues. Every person is actually precious and important. The Bible says that when you are washed with the blood of Jesus, God designed you to be a king and a queen, means a person of prominence, a person of importance, a person of significance. God gave His only begotten Son so that you and I can become significant in His family. We are significant people. God considers us important people. But early in life, the signals you get from your dad, your mom, or from your brothers, sisters could be just the opposite of that. You're good for nothing. You're useless. Self-worth issues are bombarded into you. And when you have self-worth issues, then you want to be significant to yourself. And when you want to be significant, when you are significant, when people appreciate you, when you are given appreciation, there's a high that can come within you. When people are clapping for you and when people are appreciating you, there is a high that comes, and there are certain chemicals that are released into your body, into your mind, into your brain system that makes you joyful. When you've done something important in your life, and when you have achieved something, there is a self-actualization, self-worth, self-important, thing that need in every human being that is satisfied. Now, when that is lacking early in life, then again, that's another root cause that can be misused by people, by peers, and you get into an addictive behavior, and you can stick on, because as you practice the addictive behavior, even like alcohol or drugs, you can get a high, and that high replaces the lack that is there. So that's number two cause for addictive behavior. Number three, addictive behavior can be because of guilt. Guilt. Some people are prone to self-harm. Self-harm. And that's a way they have a don't care. I don't care what happens to me. I don't care what happens to me. Now, that kind of attitude can lead into addictive behavior. Means it is bad for your health. I don't care. I don't care. So you already have a self-harming, attitude, pattern that is stronghold that has been built into you. And then you come into a situation, I don't care. I don't care even this happens to me. That way, let them learn a lesson. That kind of a game you can play without knowing yourself, and that can become a pattern in you, leading to further addictive behavior. The person can tend to believe, I deserve to be punished. Right inside, you do something wrong, and you've been caught, you've been guilty, and you deserve to be punished. Sometimes you can take on a false guilt early in life. Some people, some children I've seen, their parents, one of the parents die early in life, and they take the guilt and they take the responsibility, and they believe that they need to be punished for the guilt that is they are carrying. So if guilt is not properly dealt with early in life, then what happens? That can go and lead you into an addictive behavior. That's root cause number 3. So let's go to root cause number 4. Root cause number 4 is not forgiving yourself. Not forgiving yourself. When you have done something wrong and you know it is wrong and you have not forgiven yourself, now that can lead you to an addiction, and you can become what is known as numb. You do a bad thing, you don't forgive yourself, you do a bad thing again, don't forgive yourself, you do a bad thing again. Now you can become numb, or you can have a conscience that is, marred. That is marred. Means the conscience doesn't feel the guilt because you've repeated it so many times that the conscience has become numb. The conscience has become numb. It is like when you work hard, you're doing some physical exercise, and there are certain, let's say, certain things have happened in your hand. Hand has become tough. Now it becomes numb. There's no pain felt because of that. Let's say you're a cricketer and you catch ball, and you catch ball multiple times. After about 2-3 years, your hand has become tough, and you don't feel when the ball is hitting you hard also. You can catch because you don't feel. It has become numb. The skin outward has become numb. Now that can happen to your inner man when you don't forgive yourself and you keep repeating the same sin again and again. You can become numb and insensitive to a particular kind of habit. You become numb to it, and you can have an internal justification that it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You keep justifying that, and you become numb to that. In Africa, for children are taught to shoot. So the first time let's say a 12-year-old child is taught to shoot somebody, the child is crying because that feels so bad. But the second time, the third time, after 100 times, the child's conscience becomes numb. The child's conscience becomes numb. So early in life, before the age of 10, if you're trained to become conscience numb, that's why, any training given to children in the early ages, if that is not based on true human values, true biblical values of the Holy Spirit, then you can become numb, and you don't forgive yourself, you don't even feel guilty, and you can get into addictive behavior without feeling the guilt of this. Now we have unforgiveness issues, and sometimes these can affect the way you behave. So let's examine more tomorrow, but even today, as you relax, I want you to just check with yourself. Is there any addictive behavior that I need to identify the root cause and deal with it? Let me pray for you. Father, in the name of Jesus, we are dealing with a very serious subject that has affected millions of us as human beings. These are addictive behaviors we do not even speak about publicly. And so we ask you for your mercy and grace that we will not become numb, will become sensitive to the Holy Spirit, and we can deal with the root causes. Lord, we are not here to condemn anybody who is into an addictive behavior, but we are here through the help of the Holy Spirit, through the counsel of the Holy Spirit, to help each one of us come out of our addictive behavior. In Jesus' precious name, Amen. And God bless you. See you for the next episode.